So my name is Malati Devi Dasi. By the mercy of Guru Parampara and Lord Krishna, I came into contact with His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada in 1966 through the association with a friend who had become his disciple in New York City. So this friend was one of his first initiated disciples, his friend and his wife, Mukunda, now Goswami, at that time Adhikari, and his wife Janaki Devi Dasi. And along with my boyfriend at the time, who became Shyam Sundar, at that time we weren't married, but we were introduced to Srila Prabhupada by Mukunda and Janaki. And at that time, I also came in contact with Srimad Bhagavatam, the original sets that were printed in Delhi. So then, of course, many young people at that time, myself included, were looking for a spiritual teacher. And the word guru was not known so much in the West, but we knew what a guru was, and we were looking for a guru. Particularly Shyam Sundar was looking for a guru. I wasn't so sure myself. But when I saw the Srimad Bhagavatam and the beautiful Sanskrit shlokas and the word-by-word transliteration and the translation and the purports, all of that together was a very powerful experience. So here was a person who was bringing more than just a charismatic personality. I hadn't even met Srila Prabhupada, but through the books of the Bhagavatam that he had faithfully translated, I became attracted. And in particular, there was one phrase, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I kept seeing that phrase, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, repeated throughout the pages of the book. And it was a very attractive phrase because we had not considered that there was a Supreme Person. And suddenly that put a different dimension onto the idea that what we were thinking about, what we were thinking about, that may be absolute truth or maybe something bigger than we are, but that's something we didn't know what it was. Now here we were being told there was a Supreme Personality, and that Supreme Personality was God, and God had a name, and his name was Krishna. So through that, it was only a few minutes really, but through that few minutes I became attached to meeting Srila Prabhupada, who we didn't call Prabhupada at that point. We were referring to him as Swamiji. And when I met him several weeks, because maybe 2.5 months later in San Francisco, just upon seeing him, there was even greater conviction that this person was not like the other so-called gurus we had met. And when he began to speak, then that conviction was cemented. So most of the time, the people would tell you that, you're God, we're all God, or there is no God, or everything is God. But they never told us that God was a person, the Supreme Person, and they had a supremely spiritual body, and that we also had a spiritual body. They didn't tell us that we had a relationship with God, and that relationship was eternal. None of that information was given by anyone before Srila Prabhupada arrived. And not only was he giving this information, not only was he giving us the supreme pure teachings, his own example was in itself the most convincing aspect of Srila Prabhupada. We have a saying in America from the Native American Indians. You say, if a person is authentic, if a person is doing as he is preaching, you say he's walking his talk. He walks the talk. So Srila Prabhupada was that person, and therefore the attraction was very deep in the heart. On the very first day he arrived in San Francisco at a meeting in the temple, our little storefront temple, he was addressing a large, when we say large, our storefront temples weren't too huge. So it was, we can say, fully packed, but, it's a small, it was a small place, but it was fully packed. And there was many, many types of personalities there, but predominantly they were hippie types. And the hippie people, for all the kind of funny things they did in terms of, being not regulated in their lifestyle, taking drugs, illicit sex, etc., they were sincerely looking for something more in life. And that was the common unity, trying to find what was truth. And a big thing was finding love. I think nowadays with all the fighting and wars going on, a little love wouldn't hurt. So the hippies were really, big on finding love. And they didn't really define it, however. Pop artists, singers, the Beatles, they all sang about love, 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 all you need is love. So, but we weren't finding it. So that was a frustration, and I felt that frustration. But still, we were hoping. And just like when we see each other, we say, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So the hippies would go, peace, love, brother. Peace, love, sister. This was a symbol for the peace, Peace and love, peace and love. So the audience was mostly these hippie people looking for peace and love. And Prabhupada started out by saying, there is no love in the material world. That could have been a very controversial statement. But as soon as I heard him say that, I actually felt some relief from my struggling situation in life. Where is love? Where is love? It's not here. But he didn't just leave it in the negative. He then spoke very eloquently about the nature of love, the divine nature of love, and the divine origin of love, Sri Krishna. And it became a very exciting, positive offering, a very exciting, positive response to the frustration we were feeling. We were frustrated because we weren't looking for the right kind of love. Srila Prabhupada offered that.